I'm shocked. Oh my god, Art Simone was the second one to be eliminated from Drag Race Down Under. I was super shocked when that happened. Alright, and did you know that Mermay was a thing? Okay, my friend Wink818 has been doing some mermaid inspired looks. So you know, from this week's shocking elimination and the Sea Sickening runway and it being Mermay, I guess I'll have to do a mermaid look too. If that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell for post notifications, alright? Okay, this is the last time you're going to see this shirt because I'm going to do some body painting. Alright, brows are gone. I'm also very inspired by this mermaid look that Alice Atlantis did, okay? Very pink and blues and purples and everything. Looks a bit like my water dragon Sisu look, but I'm gonna try to make it a more glam mermaid look. I haven't made the webbings for the fingers this morning, alright? And also, I think I want to play with my new Kaleidos Club Nebula palette. Okay, got lots of nice blues and aquamarines there that's gonna, I think, go very well with this palette. Alright, so let's just get started. I think maybe we will get these face tapes on, alright? Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, so second episode Snatch game. That was a shock. I think all the queens were gagged. I think Rue went down under and really wanted to show that they were not there to fuck spiders either. They threw them all in the Snatch game. Second episode, I think it was completely unexpected. And sent one of the front runners home, second episode. Wow, she was definitely really pissed. And World of Wonder is not playing around. I think that really sent a message to all the queens that it's anybody's game, okay? Not just the ones that are super famous. So I think Karen Finance is probably a little bit shooketh right now. Okay, I'm going to go into my white central face first. And they started off by telegraphing right from the beginning that Art Simone was not happy for not winning the first episode. Right? She's saying that she got the best looks and everything. I mean, she probably does, and her makeup is iconic, and she's probably got one of the biggest followings, but you know, any one little fuck up, and she gets sent packing. That was really upsetting for her, I'm sure. And everyone else was so shocked too. I mean, I can't even stop thinking about it. I mean, I was not going to do a look today, but because of all these extraneous circumstances, I guess I just had to. I'm done my base. I'm going to go in with my eyes first. It's my new method of doing my eyes first. Okay, my brows. I want a nice aqua brow, I think. I'm going to use a whole bunch of these aqua colors, okay? Like blues and greens and purples and pinks, and hope it doesn't get too muddy. Let's put these on first. It was also really nice to see everyone in the workroom outfits, okay? Etc. is wearing this Trans Lives Matter shirt slash smock slash muumuu. Looking very cute and looks a bit like Valentina, I think. And Scarlett Adams was in this botanical kind of a romper, onesie kind of look, which looks quite cute too. Okay, brows. What color brows? I'm going to go for blue since I have a nice blue wig. I'm trying a new technique today also to do a nice blue wet look wig coming right out of the water. Let's go for it. A nice arch brow like Alice Atlantis. Oof. Okay, let's mess. Ah, what's wrong with your brows today? Those look completely crazy. Never mind, that's the good thing about it being all in creams. You can move things around, change the shape. Okay, so now they look completely nuts. Use this white from the Athena palette as well. It's called Shaping a Brow. More or less. Okay, so now on this wet base, I'm going to go in with my Club Nebula palette. I'm going to go into this void, this really dark blue, to map out my eye. Heard a lot of really good things about this palette. Oh, there's this one dip, quite a bit of kickback. Okay, that's not bad. I think I'm just going to go right in and talk about both the Snatch game and the runway looks. Not very much else went on during the workroom and everything. Except for when they drank booze out of a shoe, which was quite gross. And I didn't even know whose shoes they were. So I've mapped out both my eyes there. Now I'm going to go in and deepen this up with a purple called Cylon, okay, using a packing brush. Okay, first, Art Simone. Her Snatch game was Bindi Irwin. She actually had to fight Scarlett Adams for this, okay? They both wanted to do Bindi Irwin. Art Simone insisted on doing it, much to her detriment. Okay, she did not have the jokes. She did not have the characterization. I'm not even sure whether she looked very much like Bindi Irwin. Her hair was just a bit too perfect. Bindi Irwin is Steve Irwin's daughter, right? So Steve Irwin was the nature documentary adventurer guy who got killed by a stingray. Yeah, a lot of tragedy in Australia. Okay, Australia is full of animals that's trying to kill you. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that later with etc. etc. This palette is really, really good. It blends like a dream. I'm so glad I got this on the restock. I'm just pushing it into the outer corner here, smoking it out, and bringing it into the crease. Let me bring it down around as well. Go for a more sultry look. Going back with the blue again, just to blend that out. Her other option was Jane Turner from Kat and Kim, but Taste has already did that. So, you know, if she did that, she'd probably have been compared to Taste, and I think Taste did a pretty good job. Switching that, going into 7 of 9, which is a aquamarine shade. Just going to put that on the border. Going in more with purple on the inner corner. I guess it's going to be a halo eye. That was pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to use my Marron Cream Stick in Blue to fill in the rest of my face. Okay, and like Alice Atlantis, I want a little bit of pink here on the cheeks. So I'm going to use the pink from the Flash palette. And pop some there. Pop some there. Now let's blend it out and see what happens. I'm going to blend the pinks out first. It's almost like blush. Okay, and then mix it in with the blue. It gives it a little bit of a purple sheen. Okay, so and Art Simone's runway. She has this green sea witch thing. She looked amazing, okay? I thought she looked really, really good on the runway. She had this gorgeous hair, this big green foamy thing. It was almost like a Zach Killian kind of a hair, okay? Yeah, but I really wonder who did it. It was really gorgeous. Slowly closing up the face. Give it that blue look. And this one a little bit more. She looked really good, and she also had this fake teeth and webbed hands. Okay, unfortunately, I think the fake teeth kind of like bit her in the ass when it came to the lip sync because she could barely lip sync through the teeth. That really, I think, sealed her fate. Okay, yeah, so Art Simone, unfortunately, had a bit of a stumble this week. Next is Ketamine, who did Dr. Seuss for her Snatch game. A bit of a risk, okay, and they showed kind of like almost being sabotaged by her friends. But yeah, she was struggling with the rhymes. I think Dr. Seuss is really tricky to do because you have to be able to come up with all these rhymes on the spot, okay? Dr. Seuss like rhymes, okay? And, you know, unfortunately, she did not come up, but she was safe, okay? She could have won, I think, if she tried the Carol Baskin character. And on the runway, she came out in this almost she said Sea Witch Ursula, but I think she looked more like a jellyfish, okay? And I think her hair looked like a Portuguese man of war, which is a poisonous jellyfish, a venomous jellyfish that is found in the regions around Australia and also Singapore. I mean, we always heard about the Portuguese man of war whenever we went swimming in the sea. So, you know, that's something nice and regional, which I appreciated. Okay, a jellyfish Ursula, gorgeous. Let's contour the nose. Yeah, so I think Ketamine was saved by her runway. Her runway was quite nice, okay? Really different from what she's served so far. She is really looking very glamorous and gorgeous in this outfit. And normally she's really like this really camp aesthetic, right? And Crystal Method style and just blend this out with my fingers. I think I need to clean up the brows a little bit more. Okay, let's quickly set most of this. Alright, I'm just going to set this quickly off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So painted most of it blue and I've powdered everything. And I've also intensified my brows and everything with the blue and everything. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in again with that blue, that void. Okay, and I'm going to use this as a contour. So next is etc, 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 etc. She decides to do Lindy Chamberlain. Okay, Lindy Chamberlain was very famous in the 80s because she lost her baby in the wilderness. Okay, and at the time she was telling everyone that the dingo ate her baby, and she was made fun of by the media. Okay, because everyone thought that she was lying. Okay, and in the end, it turned out that a dingo really did eat her baby. Okay, so it was really quite a tragic story, and I think there's been a documentary about it and even a movie. It was a little bit in poor taste for her to do Lindy Chamberlain, but I guess she did it quite well. Okay, people were kind of like cringe laughing with her, which I think maybe was her goal. So, that got her safe. Yeah, so I'm not sure how it's been received in Australia. Okay, I'm filming this the day after, so I don't know. I'll put up some articles here, if any did come out. Okay, so I'm still using this Void. It's really good as a contour shade too. It's really nice and deep. Ooh, fishy. I mean, like, as in real fish. And etc., etc. Her runway, she came out as a deep sea diver diva, okay, with this diving bell, kind of a very, very steampunk kind of a thing. It looked more of a costume than a runway. It didn't really drag it up very much, okay? It was more or less pretty much just a costume. So I was a little bit disappointed that I was hoping she'd bring in some other message about her being trans and non-binary, but this didn't seem to have very much of a message. Very severe features for mermaids. Okay, yeah, so she was safe. She could also have easily been in the bottom, but RuPaul didn't seem to think it was a very good Snatch game, but so many of them were in the bottom. But I actually thought it was not a bad Snatch game, but I think RuPaul thought otherwise. Okay, yeah, because Ketamine and etc. both were called safe, and everyone else, except for the winner, who was Anita Wiglet, was in the bottom. They must have been really shaken. Okay, going back in and snatching that with the white. I want a little bit of a fish underbelly. Let's go in with the under eye. Okay, going in with the purple. And wrap it all the way around. Here, I'm going to go in my Love Tahiti palette, and I'm going to blend that out with a little bit of lilac. Okay, this melts a little bit into the pink. Okay, so next is Coco Jumbo. Coco Jumbo was in the bottom last week, okay, and this is the scene that we see in the trailer where RuPaul calls her look rotten. Really needs to prove herself this week, but she didn't. Okay, her Lizzo, okay, for Snatch Game was pretty bad. She had no jokes either. She was froze, as she said. But her face is absolutely gorgeous, and then she also has a Sea Witch inspired runway. Okay, also very Ursula, reminiscent of Ursula. Oh, I did Ursula, by the way, with a black and a white, but she didn't paint her skin purple. So that was another thing that Michelle kind of like pointed out. There wasn't Ursula if you don't paint your skin purple, which is pretty much the same thing that happened to Kine on Drag Race Canada, right? Ursula didn't go all the way, and although she did paint the skin purple, she had like bits of flesh showing through, so that was not the best. Okay, cool. Slowly brush away this bake. I'm going to try this from the Club Nebula palette, this shimmer called Nova. Pink Purple Shift. Ooh, wow. And right in the middle of the eye. Oh, that's gorgeous. Ooh, wow. Perfect for this mermaid look. And get some on the brow bone as well. Going to use some of this one called Astro to blend that into the purple. And I'm going to put some of this shimmer down here as well. Anita Wiglet comes out as Queen Elizabeth II, and RuPaul says this is the hands down winner of the challenge. She was really good. Okay, she brought the jokes. She was able to make it all make sense within the challenge. And she was able to banter and everything. So perfect Queen Elizabeth. Almost like Bend the Flowers Maggie Smith and Blue Hydrangea's Mary Berry, right? An old English lady with her filthy mouth. That always seems to work very well with RuPaul. Think about that next time for people who are doing Drag Race next time. Now, there's no black in this palette, so going back to my Carnival 3, I'm going to use this black here. Anita Wiglet's runway, she is basically this siren, okay, with the hair all swept to one side, a bit like Chelsea Boy and Joe Black's kind of a hair. Really structural. I wonder how they do it. It's quite gorgeous. Okay, yeah. And so she wins a challenge, and this time she wins $5,000. That's like last week was $3,000. This is $5,000. I mean, the grand prize is $30,000. So this is basically 1/6 of that. it's almost like winning the whole thing. Oh, and also Anita Wiglet presented it slower, and she did a more sultry presentation on the runway, okay, which is exactly what Ru suggested she did, okay, instead of doing her happy mouth open thing all the time, she really took Ru's advice, and I think that's really why she really deserved the win this week. Okay, next is Maxi Shield, who was this comedian called Magda Zibanski. Okay, I didn't know who this was. And unfortunately, Maxi Shield's performance didn't make me want to know who this was either. Okay, she just sat there, almost like Stacey Lane Matthews doing Monique for a Snatch game. Like this burly woman being very, very gruff, but Stacey Lane at least had jokes and had more energy. She was just sitting there being really completely low energy. So I think that's why she was in the bottom. Okay, and her runway is Mother of Pearl thing, which also was really pretty, okay, but not very elevated compared to some of the others on the runway. Yeah, so I think she was good to be safe. I almost thought that Maxi Shu was going to go home this week because she hasn't really, been shown very much throughout, but I'm very glad she stayed. One up for the older queens. Now I'm going in with the blush. Okay, I'm gonna go really intense with the blush, the Pink Lily from Stacey Marie. And don't be afraid to blend it into the blue here to make a little bit of purple. I want to do the scales, drawing some scales here like what Alice Atlantis does. I'm using my Suva Beauty for this. Okay, next is Electra Shock, who did Catherine O'Hara for her Snatch game. And Catherine O'Hara, of course, is Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek. Really, really topical, okay? But she didn't do a really good impression, although she was really bantering again. She really tried, okay? So I think she was safe for that. But her runway was really basic, okay? I think she's not long for this world, I think. I think she's probably going to go next couple of episodes. But I really like how she stacked a wig upon a wig for her Moira Rose, two completely different wigs. That she actually kind of like almost looked the part. But, you could tell she practiced, okay? But she didn't get it 100%. So this is almost like scales and the highlight. Needs a bit more pink, so I'm going to use this Marron in dark pink, okay, to try to contour those scales. It's also a water activated. Go back the white, draw this next row of scales. I'm going to go off camera a little bit to finish off these scales, and I'll be right back. Not the best, okay, but I think it still looks quite cute. Okay, I'm going to draw in my gills now. So I'm just going to use my Clown White Light. It might be easier to blend. First is the highlight on top of the white. And then I'm just going to blend it a little bit upwards. Okay, so next is Karen from Finance. Karen from Finance decides to do Dolly Parton. Okay, and she's quite secretive in the workroom. She doesn't want to tell the others what she was doing. Playing her cards really close to her chest. Okay, and Dolly Parton, of course, was a fail. Okay, the only other Dolly Parton that was Trixie Mattel when they did the Divas lip sync challenge. Okay, when she did Dolly Parton, she was quite good as Dolly Parton. She looked pretty much the same, but at least I think Trixie Mattel was also going to play her on Snatch game, but because she already used the costume for the Divas challenge, she did not end up doing that. Okay, so I'm blending it up that way to make it look like a bit of a highlight. So get this out of the way. Okay, and her runway, she comes out in this glitter shark bodysuit with a cowl with a sharp mouth. Great white shark. Another thing that's quite common around Australian waters. So I think that was quite nice, a nice reference to keep it really regional and really topical. Basically just a bodysuit, quite draggy, quite campy, but not as exciting as the others. Her hair and everything looked like it was supposed to be like the shark's mouth, okay, with the guts and everything, but I think Katya did it better for Her Death Becomes Her runway. Going back into the black to give a bit of a shadow beneath. Yeah, so Karen from Finance also a little bit of a stumble this week. Okay, and last is Scarlett Adams. Scarlett Adams does Jennifer Coolidge. Okay, both Juno Birch and Rock'em Sakura both do a pretty good Jennifer Coolidge. The voice is not that hard to do. You can just talk like that. I think, I want a hot dog real bad. So, I think it's not hard to practice. So she's obviously practiced, but she does not look anything like Jennifer Coolidge at all. I think her bone structure and her general prettiness really backfire in this one, okay? She's a little bit too skinny, pretty, and twinky to do a good Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah, but I think her runway saved her. She's a great barrier reef, and that's also very, very topical, very, very Australian, and gorgeous. This outfit is absolutely beautiful. Okay, she definitely deserves to be safe. Called first safe this time. Okay, just blending out the blacks a bit more. soften this white a little bit with blue. Looks better. Okay, yeah, and so in the end, in the bottom is Coco Jumbo and Art Simone. Coco Jumbo definitely won. Okay, she had a lot more movement. She was really selling it, really moving, and Art Simone could not move in her dress and could not lip sync with those teeth. But when they were both in the bottom, I thought they could not get rid of the front runner, and they couldn't get rid of the only other queen of color. Okay, so I don't think they would have sent Coco Jumbo home. If not, it was even more of an uproar if both queens of colors went home the first and second episode. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, really, really tense. And you know, Art Simone's face, it was like Dahlia Sin on season 12, remember? So upsetting, and I'm so sorry for her. Okay, but you know, she's gonna do fine. You know, and they might even bring her back later. Okay, RuPaul might decide that it wasn't her time, and she might even come back later. But it was quite shocking. Okay, shocking enough that I really had to do this mermaid look. All right, so I think I'm almost done. I'm just gonna throw on a lip real quick and put on the rest of my outfit, and I'll be back with the finished look. Rising from the sea, all wet like a sexy mermaid, and here to steal your man. And this is the finished look. I hope you like it. Inspired by the Sea Spiracy from Drag Race Down Under. I did this wet look last night, inspired by the Sea Sickening runway. I hope you like it. Alright, so are you as shocked as I am that Art Simone was sent home second on Drag Race Down Under? Okay, I think it's really anybody's game now. So I really think if she plays the cards right, etc., can win this whole thing. Okay, or maybe even Anita Wiglet or Kita Min. I don't know. It's really anybody's game now. It's so exciting. I think World of Wonder really did Art Simone dirty. I think they really used her to show that, you know, anything can happen in Drag Race Down Under. Alright, and if you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, I'm off for a swim. Ooh. Bye. Liquid latex. I mean, this is morning. Only good from this side. Oh, and I also use a whole bunch of Kaleidos highlighters. Big Kaleidos shop. I'm a big Kaleidos fan now. Alright, check out my other videos. I did a review of the cast of Drag Race Down Under there, and I did a video there on why I love makeup so much. Alright, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.